Hello and welcome to another week of the Meadows and Makers podcast. My name is Greg Dowd. I'm your host. I'm also known as making stuff on the Steemit and Hive blockchains. Even though I haven't made a post on Hive yet, it's coming, guys. It's coming. I'm working on a post for Hive, and it's gonna probably involve. It's definitely gonna involve my second round of hosting guests on my property and getting some projects done. So this time, more guests from the community here on from the internet that we've formed in PAL and doing the podcasts, and previous podcast guests that I've had on have come to visit me at at my property down in Alabama. So I had a really great time hosting Co and John Doer 123, and they came down this week to come visit me for some to help out with a couple projects that I had in the books that I wanted to work on. And is as a solo person doing a lot of this work, many hands make light work, and so when you get some help, you can get a lot more done in a shorter amount of time. So anyway, we're gonna go over some of that on the show today. And wow, what a great show last week we had on Paymon Motadehe. And he is the president and founder of the Freedom Law School, where he went over a lot of the information on how to empower yourselves with the knowledge to not be scared about the IRS, and giving you the tools to go out there and just learn more and empower yourself with the knowledge so that you don't have to live in fear, and you can go about your business. And even with the whole COVID hysteria that's going down right now, the tools for small businesses to give the finger to the system that's trying to keep people from opening up their shops and everything. So, when they have no right to do so, and that's I don't know about you guys, but that was a really great episode for me. Felt very honored to have on Paymon, and he is just a really great guy that's been fighting for freedom and everybody's personal freedoms for a long time now. So, and that's something that's really important to me, is our personal liberties and freedoms, and getting along in the world these days. And what I see are the solutions is to become more self-reliant, and to from there you can pour that out into your community. And once you've gotten yourself to a point where you're very self-reliant, and you're not vulnerable to and dependent on the external systems, then we can really create a lot of abundance for not only ourselves but for our communities. And that's what I'm all about on this show, and that's what I try to do every show, is try to bring on guests, bring on people that are going to give you the knowledge that you need to start moving in the direction of self-reliance. And so you're starting to move in that direction every day. You're making incremental steps so that you're moving in that direction. Maybe this doesn't all have to happen at once. And in fact, if you put yourself in that mindset, you're gonna just get freaked out. And so it just takes little steps at a time to start moving yourself in that direction. And that's what I'm all about here on the show. And so, right up front, let me take care of a little bit of housekeeping that we need to get out of the way. Uh, the views and opinions that are expressed on this show are my own and those of my guests, and they do not reflect on MSP Waves and the wonderful people that are hanging out here. And so it's really great to be here with y'all, and I really appreciate you guys coming to hang out. Thanks, Lax and Rondon, for showing up this today to come hang out in the chat here. And so yeah, today we're gonna talk about some of the experience with those guys down here. And I kind of want to hear from you guys, and what you're experiencing out there in your local areas. Like, are you seeing people starting to get back to business? Are people not caring about the whole mask situation? They're not really, how are people interacting in your local communities? Like, what I'm really seeing in my area, I'll just give you a little bit of experience from my area, is that nobody gives a crap, man. Like, we're all out fishing. People are coming down to the lake to go fishing. My neighbors are coming over. We're all, helping each other with different projects and stuff. Had them over for campfires. We're all hanging out around the campfire. When John Doerr and Co. came down to the property, we're all giving each other hugs and everything. And I what I'm not seeing is the people that can kind of see what's happening here and what's been coming out as the information that's been coming out. This whole thing just looks like a very convenient scheme to collapse the economy and then buy up all the assets, all the valuable assets in the economy, while stealing value from everyone else. And so that's how I'm seeing things right now. And the conversations with friends and family, especially family members, I know it's mainly in my two younger brothers, is the hardest thing for them, to get them to realize that this whole system um, is really just set up so it's creating a big control scheme on the population. And we're moving into a time where um, the the technology is going to be used as a way to monitor and track and trace and keep tabs on everybody. So we got Lax. You're saying angry about the 1500 gun ban. I don't. Guy uses an illegally obtained firearm to set a new high score. We better take the guns away from the legal owners. I don't even know. I don't even know what you're referring to there. What story you're referring to there, Lax? But one of the things that the knowledge that I like to share with you guys is how you can take that Second Amendment as your own personal responsibility. There are technologies out there right now. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I gotcha. Um, so you're saying Canada banned 1,500 types of guns? Wow, wow. So here's what I like to share with you guys. A little bit of an empowering thing for this is there's a community out there, Deterrence Dispensed, and they are publishing all the files on the library platform for different designs of 3D printed guns. And right now there's the FGC 9 that's out there, that's a pretty much completely 3D printed rifle based on 9 millimeter. And so that's something that you guys can definitely look into. And I will post the link through Deterrence Suspense. They're posting it on Speech, and they also have it's open to anybody that wishes to get into the conversation there with the Deterrence Suspense guys. They're anonymous and decentralized after what happened with Cody Wilson. After they came down on Cody Wilson created Defense Distributed and went all the legal route to claim the rights of the Second Amendment, and everything you could do to keep those rights going, and formed the Ghost Gunner and the machining platform so that you can machine your own lowers and go through that whole process. So it's you're creating your own ghost guns. And so, his argument is all about that code is the same as speech. You can't you can't censor speech, and you can't censor code. So uh, we're living in an age right now is that you are uh, you have the tools at your hands to totally take your own personal self defense as your personal responsibility, and these tools exist right now, who can uh, who you can take that into your own hands and start producing your own self defensive weaponry. So to all my Canadians out there, to all the Canucks, I highly suggest you guys looking into that and going into 3D printing. Yeah, definitely get into 3D printing. Yeah, the Creality Ender Pro, the Creality Ender 3 Pro, I believe, is the platform that Deterrence Suspense is using, and they have the whole list on how you can do your prints, and how you can do uh, how you can set up those prints and get you quality prints that are coming out. And so the Creality Ender 3 Pro, it's a very cheap 3D printer. I believe it's like $200 or something along those lines. And so to get started with that, there's a lot of information out there on how you can get started with that, and what you can do to get that going. So yeah. So what Rondon, you're saying all depressions have that in common: bottom out the prices, suffocate liquidity, and the rich buy up all the assets, pennies on the dollar. It's a discussion that I've been having with my younger siblings, and to try to get them to understand that that this is not benefiting this is benefiting the large corporations and all these folks. They've essentially suffocated out all their competition by the small businesses taking it on the chin and having to close down while they remain open. And so, when I hear the argument that the big corporations want people to be out there spending money because they're going to get all fat and happy, that's not the case. The corporations are loving the lockdown because they just totally eliminated all their competition. And so, Amazon is loving Amazon is loving this lockdown. They're taking up, getting all these orders and stuff, and and so, that's something to look at, and to look at this big picture that's going on here as just one big bank heist. And the way I see it right now is, we have the perfect opportunity right now to really focus on becoming more self-reliant in their lives. And I really, since I started this show, this has really, been the focus, because, I really see that people that are dependent on these systems as they stand right now. We have the just-in-time delivery system. We're shipping goods all over the world. It's, the supply chains. If there's disruption in the supply chains, you're going to have a hard time. We're seeing all that play out right now, and it's just been, one of the big focuses that I've been trying to focus on, and trying to get people to realize, is that you have the power right now, and it doesn't matter if you haven't started yet. Start today, and just start small. Start growing some of the food that you like to eat. Start learning about some different things that can help you become more self-reliant, and try to start working in the direction of empowering yourself on these tools and technologies that exist right now that can help you become more self-reliant. And so, talking about that and speaking about that, myself and my buddy Robbie's work is all about bringing information out on these aquaponic systems, and so uh, that's a focus that we're gonna be focusing on as soon as I get some more of my ducks in a row. That's an education platform that we've been looking at, and I've been researching. And if anybody has some experience in any education platforms out there, the one I'm looking at is this Thinkific, and it's one that I used when when I've been taking the whole WasteBot program to learn how the WasteBot technology works. And also want to announce that I will be receiving a WasteBot, which is a technology that can convert waste plastics into usable diesel fuels. And so it's something that can be used in tractors and generators, diesel generators. And when you mix it with number two diesel, you can use it as a way to hypermile your diesel vehicle. You can mix it in with your diesel vehicle, and you can use it to run your vehicle and just supplement your diesel fuel. So that's something I've been working on, and that'll arrive in June. And what this is all about is it's all about a way to become more zero waste on my own property. And I want to be able to show and demonstrate how this technology works to other people. And in order to go around the country, kind of demonstrate this, build an education site, build an education uh, workshops and online education about how this technology works, how the whole solar trailer works, and in how aquaponics and how these systems work, and to try to get more of that information out to everyone. Right now, I think this is a really great opportunity because of what I've been hearing from folks around the country through the people that I'm connected with, from the conferences that I've been to, is that some new rules are starting, especially in the. I have a friend that was in the food industry, and he recently relayed to me that they're starting to take people's temperatures so that you can go to work. And so there's these different things that they're rolling out in the company policies and things like that, where they're pushing this agenda down people. And I think if you're not moving toward a more self-reliance in your life, and getting to a point, paring down your and looking at your wants versus your needs, and trying to move in that direction, then you're really kind of going to be subject to whatever the rules that are coming out in whatever company you're attached to or whatever. And so a lot of that comes with looking for entrepreneurial opportunities. And I see Solo Miner joined us, and he's a full-time content creator, and he does crypto mining and everything like that. And he's a guy, and he's also homesteading and stuff like that. So right now looks like things are going well for cryptos right now. We've got the cryptos pushing up in price, and I really believe in the long-term value that crypto holds, and the underlying philosophy of cryptocurrencies, get back to a sound money system. So instead of the fiat system. So that's one of the big things that for everybody to go look at. And one of my favorite video series on explaining all this, a lot of things about economics, is to watch Mike Maloney's video series on money. And if you guys aren't familiar with who Mike Maloney is, he is a really great resource for all of that. And let me see. He has a really good. He's got a really great video series on all this. That I think is really good to the hidden secrets of money with Mike Maloney. So I know a lot of guys out there hanging out here and in the crypto space. You guys really understand, what's going on with fiat currency system. Uh, so yeah, I really think that video series is an important one to watch and share around with your friends because it really does affect it. What Mike Maloney talks about with the economic system and what's really happening here. And the solutions that government are rolling out, which is provide this whole stimulus situation. Well, you're providing a stimulus for people being non-productive. Essentially, they're not actually producing anything with real value. So anytime you produce a product or service that is providing value to others, that is where the true wealth is. And when you're handing out money and no real actual wealth is being produced, what you're doing is you're diluting the pool and purchasing value of the money or of the currency. Fiat is currency; it's not really money, and it really just destroys your purchasing value of what you're trying to buy. And so, when you have an institution like the central bank going out and manipulating the money supply, and basically it's stealing from every one of us, and it's stealing more and more of your purchasing power, and it's transferring all of that wealth, because wealth is never actually destroyed, it's just getting transferred. And so it's getting transferred into all these big institutions. Meanwhile, everyone else is just getting a little bit of crumbs. So, this is why I believe it's important to have alternatives and use alternatives such as cryptocurrency. And my favorite cryptocurrency is Monero and Bitcoin currently. I use both of those, and so yeah, I really believe it's important to have an economic education and to go out there and look into that stuff, and how governments and central banking definitely interferes with what's going on in the world. It really throws a wrench in the operation. So, in my opinion, it's really what creates a lot of abundance is people becoming entrepreneurial, people starting their own ventures, and getting out there into the world and taking risks and creating new products and services for people that need them. And that's what really creates value in the world. Uh, so that's where I'm at. And so let's get into a little bit of what's been going on with me and what I've been doing personally in my world to try to move more self-reliance here. And this is what Co and John Doer 123 came down this past week to come help me out with some different projects. And you're seeing what I've shown on the show previously. I have the window opened up here for our little shared drive where we shared all our photos and everything. So let me post. I'll post them into. I'll do my best to post them into the Discord chat. But if you are listening and you want to see what I've got pulled up on my screen and everything that I'm going through right now, if you want to look at that and still kind of keep up with all the stuff that's going on, please go to mspwaves.com and /watch. And yeah, I just saw Co jump in here and he jumped out. And welcome AA Gabriel Crimson for and Solo for coming on here and joining. So let's get into it here and go into a little bit of what I've been up to. And Solo, you're asking if the shipping container settled nicely onto my foundation. Yes, it's all cured. Uh, well, I don't know. I got into what's been going on in the chat, but let me pull up OBS and see what's going on. Looks like everything's rocking and rolling. So yeah, Co is down there helping me out. And by the way, here he is working on the old cowboy shower, and he helped. We took a bunch of the scrap pieces of plywood that I had down at the property, and we used some of that to create just a temporary decking for the roof of this cowboy shower I have here. And going through some of these pictures. Some of these pictures are the ones that Co took. There's Co again, looking cool when he's all sitting in front of the cantilevered gate that we put up. And so that was another part of the project, was that we built this cantilevered gate on the front of the property so that it just gives a little bit of keeping people honest in front of the property. And we did this by creating a pivot point on a log. We found a 17-foot log, and we took and drilled a 3/8 inch hole in the log, and then we took a piece of rebar and drilled a hole into a post that we had concreted in, an oak post, and then we started to figure out how we were going to create a counterweight for this thing, because the whole idea of the gate is that it's a cantilevered structure. I just posted that twice, but it's a cantilevered structure so that the long arm of the log that's going out is balanced, and then the point where we put the rebar is its center of gravity. And so once you get the correct weight balance, then the end of the log becomes so easy to move. You can just pick it up with one hand, and you can move it around, and you can move it to the side, and that's the whole idea behind the creation of the gate. And so, to help us lift the 17-foot log and to put it in the proper place, we created this tripod, and just using some of the Boy Scout knowledge I had, using a round lashing. You do a round lashing on the end of we did it on the end of these 3 logs, and then connected that at the top there. We use a snatch block, which is just a big pulley that can handle, a tremendous load. And that snatch block is connected to a 9,500 pound winch that was on the trailer that I had down there. And so we just wrapped the cable, steel cable of the winch, and put it through the snatch block, and wrapped it around the log, And then we were able to use the winch. We had one guy operating the winch, and it was able to lift the log up in the air so that we could get in the proper position, so that we could set it in the rebar. And this just helped save our backs a little bit, so that we didn't have to break our backs doing this job. So anyway, it ended up working pretty well, and we had a couple little issues getting all that done, but we ended up John Doerr ended up coming up with a great solution, uh, which was to grind down some of the rebar so that we created a point in the rebar that it would really easily go through the log, and that it would sit in the log. And because we kept having problems trying to put the rebar down through the log, kept getting stuck in there. And so Gene or John Doerr came up with that solution. So and you can see if you're looking at MSP Waves right now, you can see him as he's bouncing there on the logs, while we were trying to figure out the weight distribution on this thing. Sorry about that, folks. Just getting a little cough there. And so we just started to add logs, and we took some of these hardwood posts that I had brought over there that I'd cut previously when I was working on the shipping container and working on leveling out the shipping container. We took some of those hardwood planks, and we screwed them into the bottom of the log there, and we used that to add all our additional logs onto that, and we kept adding them until we got to a point where everything balanced out. And here's me screwing in the hardwood planks just so these guys that came down, John Doerr and Co did a lot of work, and and they were doing an awesome job. I think Co even had he even had the time on the chainsaw, and he's left-handed, so he had to manipulate the chainsaw, and tried to teach him a couple little tips on how to use a chainsaw a little bit more effectively, and he got that down. So we had a great time. We were all camping out and hanging out there on the land, and working on some projects, and this was a project that I had seen through Paul Wheaton in a site called Permies.com, and these guys were building these cantilevered log gates. And if you don't have the means to, I mean, it's just another way of creating a gate, and you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of materials. It's something that you can do with materials on your own property, especially if you're maybe developing, working on some land, or you got some land that's got a lot of woods, and you got some logs that you can cut down. You can create your own little gate out of what you have on the land. So, and that's a big thing. What I'm all about is try to use the resources that you have while you're there, or from where you're at. Use your local resources, and use those to build on your land. So that's what we did. This is me kind of sitting on it, putting my weight on it. I'm a big feller there, and I was seeing exactly how much weight we needed to add, so we could add a couple more logs if we needed to. And we found out that we had, I think it was about four different logs, and we cut a couple to like 2 feet, and then we cut a couple at like 4 feet, and they're all oak logs that I had set down there, and in preparation for this. So that's us out there working on that, and these are all how that gate turned out, and then there's Co doing his thing with the chainsaw and getting that all figured out. So did a good job. And here's us, and John Doerr brought his boy out there. So I consider this as kind of like a freedom scouts. Let's call it freedom scouts. And so this is kind of like a little scout camping trip for his boy there. And we put him to work too. We got him out there. What he was loving doing was digging holes. And John Doerr commented that he'd love to have the property because it's just sand. Everything's sand, so it's all the sandiness is really easy to dig into on the property. So there you go. So there's John and hanging out on the tripod on top of the gate right there, and doing that, and then we to cook meals for the guys. I did a couple different types of meals. We did roasted potatoes and onions and a roasted chicken in a Dutch oven one night. And then another night, I cooked a big old pot of we did a whole chicken in a pot, and we cooked up celery and carrots and potatoes, and put all that into and some onions, and put all that into a stew with some chicken broth and some chicken seasoning and all that kind of stuff. Put that out there, and we did it all over the campfire. We got the stew going over the campfire and let it go for a while, and then we all shared in a big pot of stew. And so it was a good time. And one thing right after the guys left, just share this story. And I don't know what this was that happened. I think it's related to the Starlink satellites that have been put out. But I was sitting down at the campfire the other night, and it was last night. Yeah, it was Friday night, and I was looking up into the sky. I was looking at the stars like I do pretty much every night when I'm out there sitting by the fire. I was looking up into the stars, and then I just see like this train of lights going in the sky. And it was like a 30-minute nonstop, like satellites I could see flying in the sky there. So I don't know if any guys know what that is. I think it's related to the Starlink satellite system or something like that. But I was sitting there watching this, just like, whoa, this is pretty wild. And it's just like a constant chain of these satellites going up through the sky there. So it was pretty neat. And it was hella neat. So you never know what you're gonna see when you're hanging out by the campfire. This is John Doerr's little boy, and this is one of the neighbor dogs called. His name is Fern, but it came over to get some loving and just hung out. I got a big pack of puppies that are roaming my property, and the puppies are, they're cute, but they love to get into everything. And so right now, it's the neighbor's puppies, and they come over with Fern there, and they like me because sometimes I'll feed them kitchen scraps. So now I have a pretty big pot in the. Now I got a pretty big pack of dogs that are my buddies down here on the property. So Ron down here saying similar reports about the satellites there. Yeah, satellites. It's just like one big chain, and all of them were in a line with each other. And I don't know what the purpose of these satellites are doing, but I mean that's a lot of satellites. and I guess they're going around and maybe scanning the planet or something like that. I thought it might be like, um, I thought it might be related to the whole Starlink system that's gone up, but I guess it may be something different. So I don't know. But yeah, Ko wanted to bring a dog home with him, and yeah, that was a good story. Yeah, if let me see, Ko, if you're ready, if you're around, man, you want to talk, I'll bring you on right here, and I'll just bring you on, and then you can kind of if your mic's not ready or whatever, you can kind of get into it. But hey, man, how are you doing?
What's up? Doing good. How are you?
Oh, doing well, brother. Doing well. Yeah. So yeah, maybe you want to tell the story about the whole dog situation.
Oh yeah. So there's the the storm shelter, the bunker, and then that's where the water comes out, drains out into a water pipe, and feeds into the bathhouse. And one got stuck in, and it almost came out one way, and I almost got a hold of it, but it wanted to go back through the other way. It
Yeah.
was cute and scary at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. We were all just kind of hanging out there working on that bathhouse, and then all of a sudden we heard this little dog, and it ended up getting stuck in the culvert that's on there to go into my water catchment system. So uh, luckily, yeah, John was able to coax it his way, and it ended up crawling out and getting out of there. So yeah,
Oh man.
those little rascals are getting into everything.
Yeah, it was a good time. Had a good time. Only got two ticks on my ass. So my ass has been itching for the whole time since I've been gone.
Oh
But
man.
luckily, the boy, John Doerr's boy, wanted to dig me a hole to defecate in, and he was very adamant about where do you want your hole. um, and but I'm glad I did not because he got poison ivy because he got poison ivy from shit in the woods.
Yeah, that was always that's a good important lesson is that always look where you're gonna take a poop.
Oh man.
Cuz you never know if there might be some poison ivy in the area. So, anyway, I don't know if we actually helped him identify the poison ivy after that, but they should have really gone out with him and shown him the
Yeah,
proper identification of it.
I was on his land, on John Doerr's land, and I think he grabbed like a bush or grabbed a plant, and his dad was like, "Well, that's poison ivy," and then I don't think he was affected by it very much. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can affect you differently, but like as pretty much as long as you can get in the shower and you use like Dawn dish soap or something like that to get the oil off, then you're good.
right
Pretty much. But
now that I started talking about that tick on my ass, now I'm scratching.
oh man. So, yeah,
Yeah, I had a
man.
great time.
Awesome. Awesome. I really appreciate all you guys' help. You guys are tremendous help in getting everything going for me on the property there. So we got some good stuff done while you're there, and it was
Yeah,
uh,
brother.
it was uh, it was really nice to have you guys down there.
So did your friend end up staying? The other guy, Mike or something?
He came down. We spent the afternoon hanging out, and we he had a couple of videos to show me, and then I kind of showed him around the property, and
Right on.
then we kind of talked about how he could come down and help, and he's gonna bring down some bricks and stuff that he's a little bit more sensitive on talking about, like some of the projects and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and so anyway,
he's a nice guy.
he's a cool guy, yeah, really awesome person, and so yeah, he's gonna come down and help me out with a couple things, and one of them is that spot that you had some trouble with, right
What?
past that wood pile, he's gonna come down and bring down
Oh,
some. He's
oh, where I
gonna
jumped off the ledge.
yeah, where he, where he kind of took a face dive off the ledge
Just walk the plank.
of the pad. Yeah, so yeah, if you just joined us, Fox, we'll see Freeborn Angel there. We're kind of talking about some of the a little Steam or a little crypto community meetup that we had down at my property, and we had Co and John Doe or 123 that are part of the community here that that came down, and so we're just talking about a story where Co didn't quite see where he was walking to, and
I
it
was
was
exploring.
he was exploring and ended up falling off of the ledge on part of the property. So
Yeah, it was like a 3.5 foot ledge, four
yeah,
foot
yeah.
ledge.
And man, I'm glad that you were okay after that because that was a little scary.
Hey, you just gotta walk straight. Keep your back straight. It looked like a nice path. I was like, so I'm gonna
so
go explore.
so yeah. So anyway, that's like a part of this pad that's sitting there on the property, and it's a sloping property, and so I had to build out a pad. You know, some people had to come and do some earthwork, and it's a pad right there, and part of it was getting washed out in this part, and Ko didn't really see that, and so he walked off that part thinking that it was like a little walking path or something, and he ended up falling and tumbling a little bit into the blackberry
Oh, I tumbled.
briars.
Huh?
I don't know if you I don't know if you
No,
tumbled.
I think I just went
I
straight
remember
down.
I got up to go get something, and when I come back, everybody was laughing and carrying on and stuff.
Yeah, I think I just went like straight down, like a drop.
Yeah.
I didn't go further. That's probably where I got the ticks.
Yeah.
Straight up my legs.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, what's Fox it you're saying this Steam is end. Yeah, I don't know. Is everybody out there totally walking away from Steam, or what are your thoughts about that?
Me or Foxwood?
You go.
Well, yeah, no, there's definitely a lot going on with Hive and with Steam. I powered down all 200 Steam power, and but I'm still a part of School of Minnows, and so I get like 40 cents for every post. So I got like 26 Steam coming from that. Other than that, yeah, no, I like Hive. All the D apps pretty much have switched over. Um, a lot of drama.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's interesting. I see, all the platforms where you can actually earn some cryptocurrency for your time and putting in the time to create content. Those are all great places. So you can start stacking satoshis.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't know if there's a smooth. Is there a smooth exchange for getting trading your Hive tokens and all that? Is that all set up now? I don't know if you may have some insights into that.
It looks like block trades. I went to block trades yesterday, and it looks like they're trading Hive for whatever you want, I suppose, whatever they have. But you can
Okay.
only trade Steam to Hive.
Okay. Okay. You can
And
only
I
you
believe
can only
Huobi.
trade Steam into Hive right now. You
Yeah,
can't trade Hive into any of the other cryptos.
right.
Okay.
I believe. Wait, or is it Steam to Hive or Hive to Steam? I don't know.
If anybody knows, raise your voices. But yeah. So tell me a little bit about the trip. You said that you guys met up where you're at and headed down from there, and that you've been helping out John Doerr a little bit on his land too.
So it looks like you can trade Steam to BitShares, Bitcoin, Dash and Bitcoin Cash, Doge and Ether, Hive, Hive Power and Litecoin, Monero. So I'm not
Okay.
sure if it works. Some people were saying that you couldn't trade Steam out, but anyway, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I was talking with him before the trip to Alabama, and we decided to hang out. I went and checked out his property. He's got two sides of the road. His property. We climbed the mountain. He showed me the stream. It's pretty nice. Showed me his shack. Really nice done shack. And then we just kind of tried to get away from the kids for a little bit and have adult talk and just hung out. And then shot a few rounds off in the woods and had a good time.
Awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real pretty out there in Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so, what, so you plan on coming down again?
I
Uh,
do.
cool. Cool, man.
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking about planning a trip to Colorado, to the mountains of Colorado, to visit my nephew. He's got a cabin up there, but
Oh, wow.
there's like six dudes and three dogs in the cabin, so I'm not sure.
So he's kind of doing something similar. He's kind of starting to move towards a little
Yeah,
self-sufficiency, got some property and stuff.
yeah, yeah. They're building a grow op up there and trying to be
Okay.
off grid living and whatnot. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to going up to the mountains of Colorado. It's been a long time since I've been to Colorado mountains,
Okay. Awesome, man.
but none of them have jobs. They just they work for somebody and get free weed. We get like an ounce of weed for the day's work.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's well, you got to get some food somehow and and all
Yeah,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah. No, I actually considered applying for Amazon the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm making like $20 a day, $20 a day, $20 an hour just to make some extra money.
Yeah. Yeah. Did they have a fulfillment center or something like that around your area?
Yeah, yeah, about 30 minutes, and they need forklift drivers, so they're gonna do
Okay.
paid training. So that'd be a new skill to learn as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind learning how to drive a forklift.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Super
Yeah.
sketchy though. Super sketchy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man. After operating the Bobcat, getting to learn how to operate the Bobcat and all that. Once you get a hang of it, you kind of your body becomes part of the machine. So
Right.
it's it takes a little bit up front and to get all the controls figured out. But once you get it all figured out, you're like a. It feels like you're in a mech suit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So.
I love how John Doerr posted on his post saying that it was the first time I ever used a grinder.
Oh. Oh yeah.
I was like, it's not the first time I used a grinder. It's the first time I ate metal. I started eating it for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. So what was one thing that you came out there and that you may have taken away as far as like as far as some skills or anything?
Um, uh, Getting ticks on my ass.
Well,
Man, I just love building with other people.
you pooped in
I
a
did.
you
Yeah, it was the
pooped
first time I pooped in a bucket.
you pooped in a bucket, so that was a
Yeah,
first, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I held it in for like 2 days. Then I was about to explode, and it was about to stretch my butt. It was such a compact poop. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, no. I just love working with other people, building stuff. It's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And
Um,
you're really good at working.
My crotch is a little harder now. I I developed a stronger crotch from falling on a log.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that was scary.
Co, don't step there. Okay, I'll step over here. Poof.
Yeah, so we had an incident while we were working on the bathhouse where we had two of these beams that were cross beams that were connecting to the log posts, and we were putting up another part of the frame for the roof, and we're towing in the hardwood there, and Co was helping me hold that up, and I was like, be really careful. Be really careful stepping on this, over here. But didn't specify, where to. Yeah, Co was like, okay, well,
Yeah,
don't step on that one. I'll step on the other one.
yeah, I was gonna test the other one out. If you see in the picture on Discord, the one that's hanging down to the ground,
Yep.
that's the one. That's the one I knocked off.
Yeah, that was the one he stepped on, and then he ended up taking it to the crotch on that other beam, which held
Yeah,
up.
I looked back and I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." Going down the hill,
Oh man.
wearing a tank top, flying down the hill. That would have been
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, 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 but it, yeah, it halted you on that and kept you from falling all the way down the hill, and but you had to take it to the crotch.
But yeah, I'm glad we got the roof on the bathhouse.
Yeah, I'm so
Definitely big.
happy that y'all helped me get that done, and
Yeah,
uh, and
it's awesome.
now and now it's you can keep your toilet paper in there without it getting rained on, and
I know I forgot to leave you extra toilet paper.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That when you guys first showed up, I had I had a few rolls stashed away, and then
Nice.
I was getting a little concerned because I was looking around for those rolls and I couldn't find any. So, and then I ended up finding them right before you guys showed up. So
Nice.
I was prepared, but
I know I was gonna do a photo of just like a suitcase with nothing but toilet paper, and it was gonna say "pack for every occasion."
yep.
But I didn't have enough toilet paper. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So,
So what? So what'd you take away from it? What'd you learn?
well, yeah, I learned that I a lot of times I try to do a lot of stuff on my own. So sometimes maybe I'm not the best at delegating stuff. So, there's some stuff that I can learn better and get better at with myself is, when I put on and host workshops, that I can, go out and be able to try to delegate certain tasks while I'm teaching. And the big part of what I like to do is just kind of like I like to teach people, and
Yeah,
and
sometimes I guess it's tough, having people on your property and be like, "Oh, come on over and hang out, and do this, do that, do that." But I kept telling you, I was like, "Hey, what you got for me? What you got for me? What you got for me? Give me some commands."
well, that's I guess that's something in my personality is like I don't really like to lord over people really. So I feel like uh, you know it's giving out commands is not what I really like to do. I like to get people's feedback, and that's what I really
Yeah,
enjoyed was when John was able to give me all his feedback, and we were working together on
yeah,
trying to come up with the solutions, and I love that kind of collaboration type
yeah. He's
way to
definitely a
work.
tinkerer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, that was my big takeaway, and from the whole thing is I can, maybe be better at do better at trying to delegate tasks and tasks out to people and have it set up in a more structured way with a good solid work plan or whatever if people are coming out to work on different projects and stuff like that, to have it really structured out so that it's all planned out fairly well.
Yeah, right on.
So yeah, really appreciated you guys coming out, and
Yeah, I'm looking forward to coming back.
yeah, man. You're an excellent help and an excellent hand to have out there. So you're welcome back
Thanks, brother.
anytime, man.
Cool.
So So yeah, how's things going in your neck of the woods? Are things opening back up with this whole COVID hysteria? Uh, Shops and
Yeah,
stuff getting back to business. What are you seeing around your area?
I don't know. I haven't traveled too much. I've been most of the travel I've done since I've been back here is going out to my buddy's property. He lives on a park, and he's got a huge creek. So I just take my dog out there, and because I miss the wilderness.
Yeah,
Um, and so we've been just trekking through the creek and just chatting. The dog's been having a good time. As far as I mean, everyone acts like businesses are closed. Gas stations are still open, restaurants are still open, drive-through is still open, but yeah, some shops are still closed, of course.
right. It's all the small businesses that have been shut down, and
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous, man. It's like, how are these folks that are going into Walmart and all these people getting exposed to all this stuff all the time,
right.
and where are the incidents of these folks coming down with COVID and all that too, so
Yeah, I mean
what.
the biggest thing is when someone's making your food in a drive-through and they're sick, it doesn't matter if they didn't touch the outside of the bag to give it to you. you know, it's like there's a lot of probability that they're gonna get it. You're gonna get COVID from someone else cooking your food.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
don't know. It's all so ridiculous.
yeah. So that's a big thing that it is completely ridiculous, and one of the things is that I just see it as a big way, just like I talked about earlier. This is a big wealth transfer.
Hmm.
It's the perfect excuse for a giant wealth transfer and to eliminate all the competition of these corporations. They're
Right,
able
for
to
sure.
just freaking wipe out small businesses and all over the country, and just this I see is just a giant wealth transfer happening right in front of our eyes, and it doesn't have to be that way. But these guys are threatening, to close down, especially the hair salons. Uh, my buddy Robbie and his wife, that's what she does. She owns her own hair
Yeah.
salon, and they've come in and threatened her with fines and taking away her haircutting license
Wow.
to stay in operation. And to me, that's just totally bullshit. And really, they have no authority to do that. And so, I, you know, I hope that, these folks get back to business and see all that and just give them the finger. And I see some stories out there that this is already happening. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
so,
And
so
I mean, it's a tough situation. It's a double-edged sword, you know. Um, but when it comes down to it, I mean, really, the best thing that has come out of this is people have learned to wash their fucking hands. It's like, wow, never knew. Nobody knew that. So, um,
yeah.
but yeah, but other than that, with my stimulus check, I'm buying Bitcoin and guns. So,
Hell yeah.
I've been doing some shopping for for a Taurus G2C, like a compact Taurus,
Uh-huh.
and but since the pandemic, all the gun prices have gone up like 50%.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, so that was one thing that we were talking about earlier in the show is that and the whole 3D printing of gun revolution that's
Yeah,
going on. And the guys at Deterrence Dispense and releasing all those files through the speech library platform, all the files to create your own 3D printed weaponry are all hosted there. So it really is in the power of everyone right now to
yeah.
go out there and you can go do some research in this and just start taking your own personal responsibility for
You
creating
might
your
get
own
flagged. you
self-defensive weaponry.
you might get flagged on the FBI's most wanted, but at least you know how to 3D print a gun. No, I mean, I suppose you could print the bottom half of the because it's all polymer. A lot of these
Right.
guns are just polymer, so
Right.
You still need a metal receiver, right?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Well, for the FGC 9, you're taking components. It's pretty much a fully 3D printed 9 millimeter rifle, and there's the barrel I believe is coming out of an airsoft rifle.
Oh, nice.
Uh, so it's the world's first 3D like fully 3D printed rifle, I believe.
Do you just bore out the airsoft rifle? You
Uh,
just bore out the metal?
yeah, there's something to do with there's a machining process. It's like an electrochemical machining process
Oh,
that
nice.
they've developed, and it's that Ivan the Troll I think is pioneered
So you just
some of
put
this
some
stuff.
chemical in there and then shock it.
Yeah, I was starting to read up on some of it, but anyway, it's that they created this process so that the home gunsmith could go out there and start taking care of this stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I mean, in the U.S., especially, home gunsmithing is that's not outlawed or anything
Yeah.
like that. We have the Second
No.
Amendment, so this is all home gunsmithing. So
Yeah. And I just learned in Missouri that you can conceal and open carry with no permit. So
yeah,
the laws say as long as you don't point it at somebody in an aggressive manner.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah,
Um,
absolutely. So yeah, this is um, one of the solutions for creating a uh, uh, society based on self-reliance and personal responsibility. And so
yeah.
I believe it's everyone's personal responsibility for your own self-defense. And that's my stance. And I think
Yeah.
it's paramount to freedom.
I agree.
So um, so
Yeah,
yeah.
especially having a weapon in the woods, to protect yourself from animals or whatever, or someone stealing your land, um, or just people with ill intent, you
Yep.
know? Because I can fight, but three, four people jumping me doesn't look good.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So,
but in better news, let's talk about deaths from COVID. Anybody, a man just eaten by a Florida alligator has died from
died
COVID.
from COVID.
Oh
Right.
man,
This is the whole scam that's been presented is that yeah they've given instruction out to all these health workers that presume COVID before you can prove otherwise, and so there's a lot of evidence out there that's showing that they're cooking these numbers,
yeah.
and if you die of any other illness, then they can mark it as a COVID death too, or they're
And
marking it
I think,
presuming
sorry.
COVID first, and there's a lot of evidence out there for that.
Yeah, I think some people are still pushing hydroxychloroquine, or whatever.
As the cure
Yes.
for COVID.
Yeah.
So what I've been looking into with all this and what I am a huge proponent is to boost the immune system because I believe it's a toxified body, which
Yeah.
lowers the immune system, which leaves you open to to different types of disease or
Definitely.
dis-ease. If you get into that word, it's a
Mm.
state of dis-ease, and so the immune system properly supported and will be able to handle pretty much everything that you throw at it, in my opinion, and from what I've researched. So vitamin C, loading up on vitamin C, getting enough sunlight, getting out there in the sunlight, will boost the immune system. And then eating the proper, having a good diet and eating good food and everything like
Which
that.
is which is really tough. Like we were talking about, even if you're eating greens from a store, might not have any nutrition.
Right, right. That's why
Sucks.
that's why I'm such a big proponent of growing your own food and getting into things like aquaponics, and
Yeah.
you're able to really control the inputs into the system. And with aquaponics, you can't use any pesticides or anything that's going to harm the system. And uh, you're creating the most healthy organic food that you can, because everything is in a symbiotic relationship in this system, much like the gut flora in your body. And that's another important part about your
Definitely.
maintaining your health, is to create a very robust microflora in the gut. And uh, so um, so yeah, that's a big part of boosting the immune system and keeping in the staying healthy during any situation.
Yeah, yeah. Whenever I think about growing my own food or having a nice garden, like a nice greenhouse, like it makes me extremely happy. I think that's one of my like life goals, to have just all of my veggies that I like, uh, just grown fresh.
Yeah, man, and that's
Call me a simpleton.
no, I think there is really a great and there's a lot of if you look at a lot of the evidence out there. There's evidence out there of people that do work on a farm, do grow their food, get their hands into get their hands in the dirt, and get in touch with the soil and everything, and exchanging all the uh, micro all the
Yeah,
biology in the soil and everything like that. You're really having a more robust immune system. Those people get less sick than the people that are staying inside and have a sanitary environment and
yeah,
are
yeah.
always
They
remaining
they yeah,
sanitary
they
all the
did a
time.
study on the elderly, on senior citizens that have never come into contact with animals like dogs, and then so they tested their immune system, and then they put a dog around them, and of course dogs go and roll in the dirt and go and get in different stuff, so they bring it back to you, and their gut and their immune system went up after being around dogs. So in all my life I've been allergic to
Oh,
dogs,
really?
cats, trees, grass, and so it's been really difficult. But then I got my dog, and I feel like my immune system went up after having her. So,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
by the way,
So,
guys, I'm talking a little quiet because there's some people still sleeping.
oh, okay. You got people sleeping at your
Yeah.
place. Well, if you want to get out, man, uh, if you want to say peace, you can peace out, and
Fine,
I could bring
fine.
solo miner
Solo can
on,
come on.
or we could bring
No,
solo
no, I'm
miner on
fine.
now. We can
No,
all
I'm
talk
fine. You
together.
good?
What what
Yeah,
what?
man, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go support some of the local businesses and buy lunch, and
Okay.
hopefully they got a side dish of COVID. You know, get
Hell yeah,
prepared for the apocalypse. See if I'm a survivor.
hell
No, I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
man.
It's no joke, guys. It's sort of a joke, but it's no joke.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm I totally am convinced that this is all a scam, and it's really part of a big bank heist. And
Mm.
so
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
yeah.
Um, Definitely, people are dying from but people are dying no matter what from diseases, and
Right. Right.
so yeah, it's
So
it's
so
a it's a double edged sword when you're talking about it. To be politically correct and stuff like that, because a lot of people are like, my family died from it, or I had friends that have died from it, but you know,
right. And that's the big question you have to ask yourself, is that you want to sacrifice your liberty for some kind of total lockdown, or do you want to be able to make your own choices, your own informed choices, and go out and be able to, if you're sick, you want to be able to stay home. But it's all the same as any other flu season or any
yeah,
other you know period like that. And so, how far do you want to take it for protecting, a few people's lives? Do you want to sacrifice all your liberties to
nope,
save,
yeah, yes,
some old folks lives that are.
Well, I think they're just trying to kill off the weak. You know, like we've got so much Social Security tax, and and all this, so they're just going to kill them off, and then they're going to have more money. Not going to have to pay Social Security.
That could be part of it, but yeah, do we cloister ourselves off and do mass quarantines for a flu season? Listen, none of us there. We do have one guarantee that we're all gonna die, and that but we don't know of what cause that death will be. So should we outlaw? Should everybody stop driving because they could die in a car
Yeah,
accident?
yeah. If
You
you're
know.
like Co, you're gonna fall off a mountain. And, that's what I always say. It's like the way I'm gonna die is I'm gonna fall down a mountain, like 100-foot mountain, and have like a couple scratches, and then I'm gonna get up and then trip over a pebble and bust my head open. That'd be my luck.
Well, yeah. So since Coke is stumbles over stuff, should it be wrapped in bubble wrap? Should we all have to be mandated to be wrapped in bubble wrap and
I
never
think
leave our
so.
houses because we could get hurt in some way? Where does where does
Some
that
people
all
would
lead?
love a bubble wrap hug, just to pop, just squeeze each other. But see, that's the biggest thing too. Hugs, like you need a hug. People need hugs
Yeah,
to stay alive. They need human interaction.
yeah.
And
Social interaction is really important for humans.
yeah, so that's what's really pissed me off is just the social distancing, and it's good. It's good to know that we shouldn't be cooped up next to people. But another thing that I found funny is the Google and the Apple devices that say that you have corona or someone else has corona, so you stay away from them. And then we've got people who are antisocial who just hack their devices to say they have corona, so
Right.
no one comes around them. That'd
Yeah.
be hilarious.
Yeah, there's been a meme going out there where it's like when you realize that your life isn't affected in any way from this thing because you've already been like kind of an introvert or whatever or something like that.
For sure. I mean, see, I'm both. Like, I can stay in the house for a while, like as long as I have some interesting internet stuff to do,
Yeah.
interesting internet stuff to build. But man, I love to get out and meet people. That's why I was so thankful to come meet you and what Anarchadelphia and Coinvention and being in Miami for the past 6 months and just meeting tons of people from blockchain. What I met Agrod and at Blockchain Week Philadelphia
Yeah.
when he was selling the Steam monsters. But yeah, no, I mean I love interaction, but it's nice to always have your own personal space too. So
Yeah, yeah, I am. I'll say that. Yeah, I am definitely naturally an introverted person, and I do like my recharge time. But I do enjoy meeting new people, and especially when there's really good conversation and getting into some topics and just like we're talking about here, getting into some deep topics and stuff like
yeah,
that. I enjoy that kind of stuff. Bubble Boy, yeah, that's the future in 2025. Is damn everybody walking around in a bubble suit.
oh man,
I'd imagine that'd be hot as hell.
yeah. I'm sure you could get UV protective. And then here's the other one. This is the other one. What was that from? The Little Giants, Little Big Giants.
Uh, yep,
That, that could
yep.
be me since I brought the mattress out.
There you go, folks. There's the future of humanity right there. Bubble Boy and, and Little Giant's padded guy. Mandated padding in bubbles for everyone.
Oh man. As long as I have a nice rig in the bubble, so I can have a VR headset, good to go. Good to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. That's what I think that the powers that should not be want to move the world into is this Internet of Things, virtual
Right.
reality all the time, augmented reality system where you're constantly monitored all the time, and you're
Right.
tied to some digital currency that is not, freedom oriented, that's tracked and taxed and traced, and if you're not being a good little boy or girl, you
Yeah.
are your credits or your digital currency is just shut off, and then if you're not in a state of self-reliance, then you're just, well, you're SOL.
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing that I saw and felt what was happening with the pandemic. It's like it forced everybody indoors and to use, the internet or to use their phones to connect with people. So those few people that were conversing about something because they were, you know, in a room talking about something that the phones couldn't pick up or the internet didn't hear, now they're online chat rooms like this or whatever, and now it's completely censored.
Right.
Everybody's on Zoom, everybody's on Skype, and they're just collecting more data that they didn't have before. Like they had tons of data, but now it pushed everybody indoors.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And then there an article came out a little while back too, that they're tracking everybody that is going out, in
yeah,
the different areas. They're seeing the people that are going out that are following in lockstep with the ideas that are being put out by governments and the media that are saying to stay home and to
yeah. How are
socially
you supposed to be a
distance.
productive drug dealer in these times?
I know.
Like, I mean, now that everybody's indoors, you can't like mix in with the traffic. Get away with the crimes. So you're at the bank, you're trying to rob the bank, and only one person can go in at a time. How are you supposed to take all these hostages?
And I hope the dumbing down hasn't got to such a point that and I know it's very powerful, because I see the folks in my own family that you know are buying into the whole agenda here, and
Yeah.
actually do think that the technocratic future is a positive one, and
Mm.
that it's good for everybody to be vaccinated, and that
Mm.
you need a record before you can go on a plane or something, that you've received your Bill Gates vaccination, and all this stuff. It's like a lot of people are they're cool with that. you know
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it much.
right.
Like, I haven't had the flu vaccine since I was a kid, and I don't think I've had the flu since.
Yep. Yep.
Not because of the vaccine, but because I took care of myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. As soon as they quit jabbing me, if folks quit, outside of parental,
Yeah.
um, the parental supervision, I quit taking, any of that stuff, and I haven't been seriously sick in a long time, and especially since I've been watching my immune system and supporting it with different vitamins and
Yeah.
supplementation and trying to detox and eat better food. I haven't got sick at all, and
Yeah. It's hard to detox when I come around. What kind of whiskey we drinking in that?
yeah,
For sure. Vitamins. Now, now I also have a thing against like supplements. Like some supplements are good, but some it's just marketing. It's just, or especially like a multivitamin. There's a lot of things in a multivitamin that your body doesn't need.
yeah,
So, and
yeah,
then you can only get so much of it too. The body only allows so much to get absorbed from whole foods and stuff like that. You can get a lot more, which can be bad sometimes, but better source.
right, right. Yeah, so I saw it's pretty nice joined us, and thank you for joining us. Pretty nice video,
Yeah,
and
thanks for spamming the chat.
it's good. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long while. So yeah, yeah. Bill Gates, old Billy Gates, telling everybody what they should be doing.
Oh
Guy
man.
is can't even protect his own software from computer viruses, and wants to protect humanity from from viruses. Am I right? Am I right?
Oh man, that's the biggest one for me. I'm like, he's over here giving you vaccines, and I'm still getting blue Windows death on Windows 10. I'm back on Linux. Like I was on Windows 10 for a while just to play Altspace.
Yeah.
I got right back on Linux.
Yeah.
But yeah. No. What was I watching about Bill Gates? He was talking about a vaccine or social distancing, something just recently. Um, but yeah, money, 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 money.
Yeah, follow the money and look at the World Health Organization and how these guys are see how these guys are funded. See who they're funded by, and it looks like Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation gives these guys a lot of money, and all this Fauci guy is also tied to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation through the Clinton Foundation, I believe.
Man, I can't believe the comment that Trump made when they were asking about businesses in Florida opening up, and one of his kids has a club or something, or and he said, "Yeah, but I'm still doing bigger numbers than they are. my numbers are bigger than theirs." And then I was
Maneva's a
watching like John
huge.
Oliver. Yeah, I was watching John Oliver or something. He's like, "Can you imagine, going to the funeral or going to your dad's deathbed?" And he was like, "My numbers were bigger than yours."
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, speaking of the pretty nice videos, out not wearing a mask, like, yeah, we should post those pictures. To get pictures of us all hugging each other and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that was some of the pictures, but yeah, it's just like
It's way more.
nobody I know of is scared of getting COVID or whatever. It's just like,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. John Doerr's like, "Give me COVID."
yeah.
Like, and, and so when this all started, I was in Miami and I went to go get my roommate's medicine from Walgreens. And I go into Walgreens and she's wiping down the whole counter for everyone, every customer, every time. And then I'm purchasing and then I check out. And so she's like, "Would you like some rubbing alcohol or some hand sanitizer?" And I had to think about it for a second. I was like, "This is not normal." I've never been asked that before. And so I said, "Sure." And so she sprayed it on my hand and I slapped it on my face. Just like straight to the face, like pow. I was like, "What the hell did I just do?"
Oh,
Like, I'm
jeez.
such an idiot. I love it. Like, I'll show you COVID. Anyway. All
Yeah.
right. Well, yeah, I'm gonna go get some food. Good talking to you, man.
All right. All right, Cole. Thank you for joining me, and
Yeah, thanks,
you
brother.
have
I'll see you soon.
you have a wonderful rest of your day, and hit me up when you want to come back, man.
Definitely. Thank you, pal. Thank everybody in pal. So we can meet each other. Let's spread some COVID love. Let's spread some love,
Yeah,
peace, love,
guys.
liberty.
Yeah, absolutely. Liberty, liberty. So yeah, that's what it's all about. No fear in liberty. So
Yeah, I was actually thinking about making a dating app called Fearless.
there you go.
It's like, if you don't care about COVID because you have HIV, come on down to our dating app. Oh man, that's tough. Tough.
I like it, man.
Uh,
Well. Anyway, thank you for your time and coming on to share your experience with me today.
yes, sir. My pleasure. Later, guys.
All right, brother. Catch you later. So, yeah, pretty nice video. You're talking about uh, getting good fats to absorb those minerals and vitamins, and then you're talking about how uh, natural K2, and from what I understand, K2 is good for and it comes from grass fed animals because they're able to transform the chlorophyll and everything in the grasses, and that gets transformed into the vitamin K2. And this was something that was talked about at Anarchadelphia 2020. Lily Forster she went on the carnivore diet because she had all kinds of different issues with her body, and she was getting like she had bad skin problems, and she was like very like malnourished and things like that. And then she started to you'd have to see her before and after photos, but now she looks very she looks very healthy. She's got good she's got like her body looks like she's got her skin looks very vibrant and healthy, and all of that. Her hair looks really a lot better and not damaged and everything like that. And then there was another lady in the audience as well that gave a similar statement, that she said she has stronger fingernails, and then her hair is more robust with her hair and everything like that. So yeah, it's something that doesn't really get told to people, but that vitamin K2 is very important for the body. And so that's cool that you've looked into all that stuff, and it's really important. From what I've researched, is that vitamin K2, and especially it for somebody. I believe the only other way to get vitamin K2 maybe in if you're going on a totally like a vegan diet. I think natto is the only thing that helps you get vitamin K2, from what I understand. So, it is possible to do it on a totally vegetarian or vegan type diet. But you really have to know what you're doing on those diets, and you have to really get out there and look for all that stuff. And so you may be lacking those things, and you may be having issues with certain things if you lack vitamin K2. But everybody's body is different, and so everybody's going to react to the different diets in different ways. And so I don't agree with the whole industrialized farming and the way that the meat is done in that whole industry. But I think it's all about going back to knowing and growing your food, is what I'll say. And so I really think that is important in our lifetime right now, and it's something that I think is really urgent to go back to, is actually being tied and connected to our food. And so, if you're raising your own animals, and you are, raising your own vegetables and all that kind of stuff, you have such a much more intimate connection, and you're able to get the healthiest food as possible. And like I say, it's all about taking the little steps to start moving in that direction. Don't you don't have to do everything overnight and become full on food producer, homesteader. If you're not willing to go out and do those things, then get to know a farmer, get to know a local farmer, support them, buy their produce, buy their meats, and get to know them really well, and get to help them out. Go volunteer and help out your farmer, help out a local farmer in any way that you can, and so that you have a really good, robust local food system in your area. That's all the stuff that I like to share. Is just just take those little steps. It doesn't have to be don't think about having to do everything all at once, but just take the little steps and start moving in that direction. So hey, Solo, you wanted to you said you had a little bit of time to chat. So how have you been, man? What all's going on in your area during this whole situation? If you can hear me right now. Yeah. So just brought you on. So whenever, you just I just brought you on air, and if you're ready, you can come on. So yeah, pretty nice video. Yeah, let's start a farm, and and that's something I welcome is folks that are here. Just like I hosted Ko and John Doer 123. Anybody that may be interested in coming down to maybe just stay for a little bit and come down to the homestead, and we'll work on some stuff. I'll do my best to teach you some skills, and you teach me some of yours, and that's what I'm all about. Like Ko said, I'm a tinkerer. I love to hear other people's ideas and to be, that collaborative spirit. And one of my big things is just and one of the big hurdles I've had in my life is that for the longest time, I've had the engineering mentality where you have to plan everything out to the smallest detail, and you have to, get all your P's and Q's in a line, and it has to be totally perfect, and you never do anything. It just totally keeps you from doing anything. And that was one of the big hurdles I had to get over in my life was to just get out there and get started, and to just get building. In you learn so much along the way in the process. Is that once you just start building, you're learning. As you're building, you're learning, and you're learning along the way. So it's one of the big things that I think is just to get started, and don't worry about what other people are going to think about your project or whatever you're going to present, or whatever you're doing. I think it's important to just get started and to get out there and uh, and just start learning and growing. So,
You hear me?
hey, Solo, what's going on, brother?
And
Yeah.
making stuff. Are my levels okay there?
No, I'm gonna have to adjust you up because you're sounding pretty low. But let me see. I just adjusted you on Discord, so you should be a little bit better. So, how have you been,
Okay,
man?
cool. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just spent the day pulling out some blackberry roots out of a yard, and I'm about to transplant them in my yard.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, we got tons of those on the property at my place, and looks like they're all starting to come up right now.
Yeah, they're flowering around me, so they're probably flowering around where you live as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So how's life been in your neck of the woods with all this COVID hysteria and everything going on?
It's a little nerve-wracking when I have to go to the market. I go there once a week on the weekend, and you never really know what you're going to find. I think it's probably due to people hoarding materials. Like I haven't seen toilet paper in our local market for about 6 weeks now. Luckily, a relative was able to get us some from Sam's Club, but all the public markets, they're definitely lacking a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
got MRUs and I got water. I know a source for well water. I know a source for stream water. So it can go a lot worse. It's just what I've been used to my entire life is starting to show maybe it's not always going to be like that.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. So it's just adapting, and you've been doing a lot of stuff already to get yourself a little bit more self reliant. So has that picked up in your case? Have you started to maybe uh, try to focus on getting more gardens planted, getting more stuff ready for this season?
Yes, yes. In 2020, I think this was the largest planting I've done in my yard ever. I planted four cherry trees, two apple trees, about 40 asparagus roots, strawberries, at least 40 or 50 of those. And then I got sweet potatoes, russet potatoes, Yukon Gold. I'm really trying to use all of my 1 acre I got, and I'm actually going to harvest the Yukon Golds today. Today is the harvest day for them.
Okay, awesome, man. That's great to hear. Yeah. So you planted out a bunch of asparagus. Did you plant the roots, or did you plant out the seeds? Did you start with seeds, or are you starting with roots?
I got the roots. They're called crowns, I think, and they
Yeah.
look like little octopus. They're like this little ball, and then all the little roots going everywhere. So you just put them in the ground. You have to know their orientation, plant them straight up. And I was actually kind of worried because for about 2 weeks I didn't see any signs of them. And in the last 5 days, they've really started popping up. But I was afraid. I'm like, oh, I planted them too deep, or I read you're supposed to soak them in water before you plant them, and I did not do that. So I was having a lot of doubt for the last few weeks, but they actually just came up, and hoping critters don't eat them because they need a few years to grow before I can eat them.
Yeah, that's the big thing about asparagus is that it's yeah, it just takes a long time to get your asparagus to really start going, but once it gets started, you can harvest it. It's a perennial. You keep harvesting asparagus year after year after year.
Exactly, and that's been my plan: is putting perennial plants in the ground, letting them get mature. It takes a few years, but I started this a few years back on many things. So, like my blueberries are starting to show a real good yield, especially with all the bees that I brought onto my property. Oh, how's your bee house?
Yeah, I got that thing set up, and I got a little awning over it, and
Oh, good.
so I still haven't seen any activity in there. So maybe I need to move it around. Maybe I need to move it closer to my blackberries or something, because those are all flowering right now. My fruit trees aren't really flowering, so
Yeah, keep them close to whatever flowers in early March and February because your blackberries probably flower in May and June. So the bees wouldn't make use of that. But just keep an eye, I'd say next February, kind of look at what around you is flowering and then just put them by that because that's what the bees want. They want the early flowering.
okay, okay. So yeah, if you guys don't
That's
know,
great.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that's great. You got it set up and you got the awning. I was really worried you didn't put that awning up, and the bees would probably reject it because if their homes get flooded, they're not good. So that's I would say give it a year or two. They probably just don't know it's there yet.
Okay, yeah. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, has been creating these solitary bee houses, and when he came over, he brought a little solitary bee house to give me, and so I set that up on my property, and yeah, maybe you can tell everybody a little bit about solitary bees and what the benefits are. They're pollinators for one thing, but yeah, what have you learned about these solitary bees that is helpful on your property?
Well, I'd say the first thing that I noticed was they don't sting me, which is great. Can sting you, but I've never any aggressive uh, behavior from these bees. But besides that, I'm learning how much they can pollinate. Like my blueberry bushes, the yield went from maybe a little container of blueberries to now like 4 or 5 containers of blueberries. And it really shows you like bringing bees on your property. If you have fruit trees and bushes, it can really increase your yield. And that's one of the major things I appreciate from it. But I'm also trying to collect their pollen and doing other experiments. I even set up a bee webcam that I uploaded a picture, and it got a little activity before I had some trouble with 3Speak, and then I had to stop using.
Okay,
Yeah, I
yeah,
just shared a picture there so people can see what the bee homes look like.
yeah, wow, you got a lot of them.
I spent probably 24 plus hours of just hand or routing using like one of those machine routers
Yeah.
because you got to build them one by one. But they were using it. They definitely visited them. At least maybe 5% of those holes are filled this year, and I'm
Okay.
hoping next fill them all up.
Oh wow, very cool.
I'm hoping. We'll see. That'll be a lot of bees. It'll be kind of intimidating walking through here if there's that much activity, but they've never hurt me. And like, if I was stung by them, I might be a little more reserved around them. But they're very aloof, and they kind of just get out of your way or bump into you. I mean, sometimes they bump into me, but they don't like cling on to me and sting me. Just make me really nervous.
Yeah, yeah. So you've planted out a bunch of fruit trees and everything on the property, and so you're working on a little food forest then, huh?
Yeah, and the cherry trees I planted, and hopefully the apple trees, they line up with the solitary bees' feeding schedule because they come out in early or late February in North Georgia. If you
Okay.
live up north, like it changes by months, or if you're down south, it changes by weeks. So for me, late February they emerge, and there's almost nothing besides maybe some holly bush flowers that they can feed on. So by me having cherry trees now, I think I'm going to give them a great food source, and then in turn they'll pollinate them and give me good cherries.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's great. So are you guys? Have you focused anything on food preservation? On thinking about how you're going to preserve some of your harvest and what you're doing in that regard?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to get at least another 20, 30 pounds of sweet potatoes this year. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to store them over the winter, and maybe I can eat them up until my next harvest. I've seen videos on YouTube of people building boxes that store potatoes that allow airflow to pass through them.
Uh huh.
But I haven't gone that far yet. I'm kind of waiting to get my yield, and then I'll probably build some kind of potato box to store them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's one thing on living out in the off grid is that I really don't have enough power. I can't. I'm not producing and generating enough power really to keep a refrigeration going. I would have to expand my battery bank in that solar trailer to really have some refrigeration down there. So that's one thing I learned, and pretty much like that little tornado shelter, if you remember on my property, that stays a
Mhm.
pretty constant temperature because it's underground. So one of the things that I'm looking to do is to create some kind of clear that thing out and kind of make it maybe a little bit of a root cellar down there.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then you could put canned food in there, and whatever you can't eat during the summer, you just can away for the winter.
Yep, yep, absolutely. And I just got quail, so I'm now a quail farmer.
Oh, cool. You actually got some livestock there. I remember you had a cage for some things, but you didn't have any livestock.
Yeah, and I started off with a few chickens that give me eggs when I was at my city property, and when I moved down there, I brought that little coop down there for them, and so maybe it's not the best for protecting them against predators, but now I got a couple of different. I got a big cage that I could. It's going to be a quail tractor. I'm going to start off with some quail down there, and then I want to get some more egg layers for the property, and then get that aquaponics system set up down there so that I'll be able to get that in the greenhouse and have a pretty good food system going year round with all that stuff.
There you go. Yeah, so we get winters where we live, so you need some kind of greenhouse if you want to have that year-round gardening.
Yep. Yep. So, that's those are the projects now that I really want to focus on now that I got, a little bit more comfortable down there. We're getting that bathhouse and all that set up. And so that's something that I want to get done. And yeah, Ko says that the quail eggs are delicious. I really like them myself too. It takes a lot of quail eggs to create an omelet, but but
I was
they're
gonna
they're
ask
really
like
tasty.
what you do with quails. I didn't know if you're like saving them for meat or if you eat their eggs. I've never had quail, so that that probably sounds good. What are quail eggs like compared to chicken and duck eggs?
Yeah, I'm gonna do both. So quail eggs they're just tinier, but they taste just as they taste similar to chicken, and I have had duck egg before, and they're they taste just as good. One of the big benefits, I guess, for quail eggs is that people that may have allergies to chicken eggs. So, and
Oh,
I think that may have something to do with vaccines, and because part of vaccines is egg protein. I think from chicken eggs is where they did some of that with, and so that foreign protein being injected in the body, some people's bodies have dealt with that as a foreign entity, um, and
like an immune response.
an immune response to it. Yeah, so some people may have an allergy to chicken eggs. So yeah, quail.
That sucks.
So
Glad I don't.
yeah, so quail eggs are a way for some people to get around that allergy. So yeah, that's one benefit of them. And
And
then
what it's like raising them? Do they make noise? Or are they pretty quiet?
They're actually pretty quiet, and they will only start yelling at you when you haven't given them their their food and water for a little bit. They'll start making some noises, but other than that, they're pretty quiet, um and they're not too difficult to raise. They One of the big problems with them is they like to scatter their food everywhere, and so you can have some waste with their food if you don't set up your little feeding tray in a certain way. They'll just spread that food all over the place. That is something that I'm trying to figure out right now, and I'm trying to figure out the best way on trying to give them their feed, because they when they eat, they're just ravenous. They get in there and they spread it. They're like scratching through it, and they'll shake their heads. They kind of spray it all over the place, and so
You should
that's
look at how people handle like dogs with that problems. I know some dogs are really messy eaters, and I'm sure like there's forums out there discussing that. So maybe look up how they handle with that dogs and try to adapt that to quails.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to figure that out because my buddy is also got that problem. He's doing a full time. He's not a full time operation, but he's really expanded his little quail operation, and he's got a little monthly membership for Quail Eggs. So you get part of his monthly membership, and you get so many eggs per month of quail eggs, and that helps support his operation on being able to raise the quail. And so yeah, I want to get into something like that where I get a little maybe monthly quail egg membership going.
Like a local pickup, or you think you'd be shipping them?
Well, yeah, it would have to be. I might consider shipping if I can kind of figure out a good way of doing that.
Yeah,
And
eggs are hard.
yeah,
Great.
yeah, that would be hard to ship, but yeah, just local is what I want to focus on. And
I'll pick them up whenever I visit you again. I would love to bring some back and cook with them. I'm sure they're delicious.
yeah, I'll pickle you some. The pickled eggs are really good. I got
No.
I got I got into doing the pickled eggs, so that's pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, I will eat the quail eventually. So I'll have to thin out some of the males if I don't want to breed them. So yeah, at the end of their life, they're just like chickens. Toward the end of their life, they'll quit producing as much, and so at that point, they will probably be on the dinner plate too. Uh,
Nice.
so yeah, so yep. Um, yeah, so we're coming up on the end of the show. Solo Miner, thank you for joining me and getting to chat and catch up a little bit on the show here. And really appreciate you.
Yeah, there's counting people.
Yeah, just really appreciate you coming on and chatting a little bit with me and getting to catch up. And yeah, if you want to say any last words, and then we'll transition into Crimson Clad show.
Well, again, thanks for having me on making stuff. Always loving to listen to who you bring on here. I learn so much every time I listen in. And I appreciate you having me out there and being nice to me and letting me sleep in your camper when we had the snow that time, because that would have really sucked trying to sleep in that tent. So I just
Oh
looking
yeah,
forward to the next time I visit you.
yeah. You're welcome anytime, brother. Just give me a shout, and we'll have you out again. So.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Well, stay tuned for Crimson Clad, and appreciate you guys. We'll see you again next week for another episode of the Meadows and Makers podcast. So, peace, abundance, and liberty to all. So, we'll catch you guys next time, and peace. See you guys. I'm just gonna try to talk until it's Crimson Clad's time. I know I probably ended a little early, so. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys every week for coming and hanging out. So so thankful that you guys are come here every week and hang out with me. So I really appreciate it. And love you guys. Love you guys. And hope you have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day, y'all.